Everyone, thanks for coming back to the channel. We got a special going on November 21st through November 30th. Check out our website, www.dirtchurchracing.com. All our shirts are going to be 10 bucks. Our hats, 20. Hoodies are 30. While supplies last. Anyways, we're going to get into a video of some 5 things you should check in between motos or after practice. The key is here, you want to, if you're racing a series, you want to maximize your points. You get 0 points for a DNF. So let's stop that right now. We need to maximize our points. If you're racing the series, you want to be as high as you can in those point standings at the end of the year. Preferably not 9 points out of first place. Bummer deal. So we want to maximize that. Dan, he outrode me. That's what it was. So, damn Yamahas. Anyway, 5 things that I check that I've had problems with. Maybe these are really dumb, and they could be, but let's just start. The first thing, even before you go to the track, this is probably my number 1 thing. If you put a new set of bars on, for me, all the controls got to be in the perfect location. 1/4 inch off, I'll know the difference. So your brake lever, your clutch lever, that would be opposite of that. Anyway, your clutch lever, you want to make sure it's at that sweet spot where you let it out and it goes. So you don't kill it at the start. Or if you watch one of my videos, you can see I rolled too early, hit the gate. Well, that's how it goes. I wasn't going to get a good start. Let's just be real about that. Anyway, so you want to check those. You want to have those squared. You probably do that before you even get there. But if you anyway, that's one of mine. That is probably my number 1. My number 2 thing for me is air pressure in your tires. I can feel it if it's just a little bit off. So I have to make sure that the air pressure is dead nuts. It just jumps funny. So usually I'll run like 4 in the back, 8 in the front, roughly. At least I'll start there. And then one other thing, just because this has happened to me, you're running beadlocks, make sure all these bolts are tight. And you're thinking, yeah, duh. Well, if you watch the GNCC video, this ring, all the bolts fell out of the beadlock. I don't know how. Leave a comment, let me know how. Then the ring went inside the tire, and then busted up all the balls I had in there to keep it from going, so I could run it on flat if needed be. Yeah, all the bolts came unscrewed. Then this went inside that. Please let me know how that's possible. So anyway, check those. And you can see it's cold out here. Double check them. I had a flat this year, and that's exactly what it was. It was just stupid oversight from me. Those are my 2 main things for me. I'll even check them in between motos. And then obviously 2 more things that are just no-brainers. Obviously gas. You want to make sure you got gas in there. And if you watch the Works video, the 40A class, I filled it up. I swear to you, I filled it up. But I should have filled it to the tip top. I don't remember. I'm old. I forget. But it was full. And you can see the last lap, it ran out. Well, I mean, I finished, but it was rough. Anyway, so you want to just make sure, if you're doing a 50-minute Works race and you're pushing it, you probably want to fill that to the brim, or coming to a pit stop. But a 50-minute race, That's probably not very practical. I probably should have won that. In hindsight, I ended up fourth. I'm lucky I finished because I didn't think I was gonna. Anyway, that's, like I said, no brainer. Duh, Chris. Let's put gas in it. Yeah. Other thing. This is the other duh one. Your air filter. In between motos, man, if it's a dusty race, I would at least check it. And if you're like me, I carry, there's 2 right there. There's 1 in the air box there. And there's probably 4 in the trailer. Just throw a new one on there. Like, dude, 5 minutes, that could save you. The less dust you suck through into the motor, the better. So, I mean, those are obviously no-brainers. But you guys tell me, how many times at the track, in between motos, do you see somebody pull their seat off and check their air filter? Because I'm going to tell you, next to none. They'll check the gas. That's a no-brainer. You're running motocross, especially if it's the amateur guys and they're running 4 laps. You barely even burn any gas. So, works is a different story. Fill that sucker up because it sucks to run out. Anyway, so those are the 2 no-brainers you should check, obviously. So the other one, obviously, these are kind of dumb, but really oversight. Like, check your chain, make sure it's tight. I've lost a chain during a moto, and that sucks. Luckily, I was able to put it back on. But when you do that, here's something I always check. I always check my axle nut, make sure it's tight. I might have over tightened it, which I didn't even know was a thing, and I blew my axle bearings out the last race at Washougal. But these bolts here, that for your sprocket, or you can see them on this side, these, make sure those are tight. And the reason, again, from experience, now, like, I've been doing this a long time, and sometimes I forget stuff, you know. In between motos, I don't want to check nothing, but the sprocket is supposed to be straight. This came, and you're saying, like, it came loose. Well, I don't know if it came loose, but if you look at this, those are broken bolts. They're still in there. And this is a stainless steel guard that is no longer straight. I'll tell you what, that'll stop you in a quick heartbeat. So I got last. Again, you want to maximize your points. Those cost you. DNF, you get last for the day. That's it's no good. I mean, obviously you probably want to check your oil, stuff like that, but that's even before you get to the track. But those things I would definitely check. Highly important. You can also check, when you check your air pressure in your tires, check your lug nuts. Usually, especially in the back, if you guys are sand riders and you're taking your bike to the sand and to the moto, and you're switching from your paddles to your dirt tires, just tighten those up. Make sure they're tight. Double check them. I've had a bead lock come loose in it. Obviously wobbled out the holes real bad, and I was able to fix it, but super preventable. 5 minutes, you could have went around, checked all 4 of them. And if you're like me, you can see my bike's always broken, so we got to ride this one. So it's highly important, if you don't have 2 bikes, just make sure you just check the obvious stuff. Super important. And I'll leave you with this. So one last other thing I would check before you even go to the track, just your ride height. So it's dialed to where you want it is. Your ride height, your tire pressure, those go hand in hand. And then when you're out there, you can tinker with your suspension settings and you can get dialed, and that'll make a big difference. Even if you're running stock shocks, that'll make a big difference, because the new shocks, the stock ones, they have so many adjustments on them. And if you don't know, ask somebody, because you can make your ride a lot better than what it is. Anyways, we want to maximize the points to beat the people that aren't finishing. That's the key. That will move you up into the point standings. I mean, everybody wants to win, but if you're broken down, you can't win, right? Anyway, those are my 5. I would like to know if I missed anything obvious, probably. Let me know in the comments, and thank you.